Welcome back to our channel. We hope you'll find valuable content here. If you enjoy our channel, please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Let's dive in. Imagine you're a kid with a big box of colorful Lego bricks. You want to build something grand, like a castle or a city, and you invite your friends over to help. You provide them with some of your Lego bricks, and together, you all start building. This is similar to what China is doing with its new Silk Route project, also known as the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. China is like that kid with the Lego bricks, and the countries it's investing in are like the friends. Why is China doing this? China wants to be the most popular kid in the playground. By helping other countries build infrastructure, like roads, railways, and ports, China hopes to make more friends and increase its influence around the world. Introduction to China's new Silk Route. The genesis of an ambitious project. In the heart of Asia, China, a country with a rich history and a rapid modern transformation, embarked on a monumental journey to extend its influence across the globe. This journey is metaphorically and historically tied to the ancient Silk Road, a network of trade routes that once connected China to the rest of the world. In 2013, China announced its modern version of this, the new Silk Route, also known as the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. The vision and the strategy. China's vision was clear and ambitious. They aimed to create a network that would connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through land and maritime routes. This network would facilitate trade, improve connectivity, and foster economic growth. The strategy was to invest heavily in infrastructure projects such as roads, railways, ports, and pipelines in various countries along these routes. Why did China embark on this journey? China's motivations were multifaceted. On the surface, it was about economic prosperity and trade. By improving infrastructure, China could facilitate smoother trade routes, access new markets, and drive economic growth. However, beneath the surface, it was also about influence. By investing in other countries' infrastructure, China could extend its economic and political influence, securing its position as a global superpower. The initiative was met with mixed reactions. Some countries welcomed the investment, seeing it as an opportunity for economic development. Others were skeptical, concerned about the potential for debt dependency and China's increasing influence. China's aspirations as a global superpower. The rise of a dragon. China, with its vast landscapes, rich history, and diverse culture, has always been a significant player on the global stage. However, in recent decades, its aspirations have grown beyond its borders. The nation has been steadily and strategically positioning itself as a global superpower, not just in terms of its military might but also its economic and political influence. The global footprint. China's global expansion isn't a sudden phenomenon. It's a calculated move, rooted in its long-term vision to be a dominant force in international affairs. This vision is evident in its investments in Africa, its partnerships in Latin America, its presence in the South China Sea, and, of course, the new Silk Route Initiative. Each of these endeavors showcases China's intent to weave a web of influence that spans continents. Soft power and hard power. When we talk about influence, it's essential to understand the difference between soft power and hard power. Soft power, this refers to the ability to shape the preferences of others through appeal and attraction. China's soft power is evident in its cultural exports, such as movies, music, and even education. Confucius institutes around the world promote Chinese language and culture, subtly enhancing China's global image. Hard power, this is the use of military and economic means to influence the behavior or interests of other political bodies. China's investments in infrastructure projects worldwide, its establishment of military bases in strategic locations, and its economic sanctions are all examples of its hard power. Challenges and criticisms. While China's global aspirations are clear, the path isn't without challenges. The nation faces criticisms regarding its intentions. Some view China's investments, especially in developing countries, as a debt-trap diplomacy. This means that by providing significant loans for infrastructure projects, China could potentially have these countries in a debt grip, allowing for undue influence. Moreover, China's assertive stance in territorial disputes, its approach to human rights, and its internal policies have also been points of contention on the international stage. China's journey to becoming a global superpower is multifaceted. It's a blend of strategic investments, cultural outreach, economic prowess, and political maneuvering. While its aspirations are evident, the road ahead is complex, with both opportunities and challenges. China's global investment strategy. The Grand Blueprint. China's rise as an economic powerhouse in the 21st century is not just a result of its domestic reforms and industrial growth. A significant part of its strategy has been to invest heavily in various countries, spanning continents from Asia to Africa, Europe to Latin America. This global investment strategy is a testament to China's vision of integrating itself deeply into the world economy and establishing lasting ties with nations far and wide. The motive behind the money. At the core of China's global investment strategy is a blend of economic, political, and strategic motives. Economic interests, investments, especially in infrastructure projects like roads, ports, and railways, pave the way for smoother trade routes. This not only helps Chinese exports reach global markets more efficiently but also ensures a steady supply of essential commodities like oil and minerals to fuel its vast economy. Political influence. Financial investments often come with a degree of political influence. By being a major creditor or investor in a country, China can, in some cases, sway political decisions in its favor. Strategic depth. Investing in strategic locations, be it ports in the Indian Ocean or railways in Europe, gives China a foothold in regions that are geopolitically significant. This depth ensures that China has a say in global affairs and can protect its interests. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. A shining example of China's investment strategy is the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Envisioned as a modern-day Silk Road, the BRI aims to connect China with Europe, Africa, and other parts of Asia through a network of land and maritime routes. The initiative involves massive investments in infrastructure projects in participating countries, further solidifying China's global influence. Reactions to China's investments. China's global investments have been met with a mix of enthusiasm and skepticism. Enthusiasm. Many developing countries, in need of infrastructure and economic boost, have welcomed Chinese investments. They see it as an opportunity for growth, job creation, and improved connectivity. Skepticism. On the flip side, concerns about debt-trap diplomacy have emerged. Critics argue that by taking on massive loans from China for infrastructure projects, some countries might find themselves in a position where they are unable to repay, giving China undue leverage over them. China's strategy of heavy investments in various countries is a multifaceted approach to secure its position as a global superpower. While it brings numerous opportunities for growth and collaboration, it also presents challenges and concerns that need to be navigated carefully. Challenges in the Chinese economy. The double-edged sword of rapid growth. China's meteoric rise as an economic powerhouse over the past few decades is nothing short of remarkable. From a primarily agrarian society, it transformed into the world's manufacturing hub, producing everything from electronics to apparel. However, with rapid growth comes its set of challenges, and the Chinese economy is no exception. The real estate bubble, a house of cards? One of the most talked about challenges facing China is its real estate bubble. Here's a simple way to understand it. Imagine you're in a town where everyone starts believing that the price of houses will always go up. This belief leads more people to buy houses as investments, driving prices even higher. Developers see this demand and start building more and more houses. Soon, there are more houses than people need, but prices keep rising because everyone believes they will continue to do so. But what happens when the belief changes, and people start selling their houses? Prices can crash, and those who bought houses at high prices can face significant losses. This scenario mirrors the situation in many Chinese cities. For years, real estate was seen as a sure-shot investment, leading to rapid construction and soaring property prices. However, with oversupply and changing market sentiments, there are concerns about a potential bubble burst, which could have ripple effects on the broader economy. Slowing GDP growth, the inevitable plateau. Another challenge is the slowing GDP growth. After years of double-digit growth rates, China's economy has started to show signs of slowing down. Several factors contribute to this. Maturing economy. As economies grow and develop, maintaining high growth rates becomes challenging. It's like a sprinter who starts fast but needs to pace themselves as the race goes on. Shift in economic model. China is gradually transitioning from an export-driven economy to one that relies more on domestic consumption. This shift is essential for sustainable long-term growth but can lead to slower growth in the short term. Global economic factors. The global economic environment, trade tensions, and other external factors also impact China's growth. While challenges like the real estate bubble and slowing GDP growth are significant, it's essential to remember that economies are cyclical. They have periods of boom and periods of slowdown. The true test for China will be how it navigates these challenges and adapts its strategies for sustainable long-term growth. The Belt and Road Initiative, China's ambitious project. Embarking on a modern Silk Road. China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, also known as the New Silk Road, stands as one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in modern history. Envisioned by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013, the BRI seeks to revive the ancient Silk Road, creating a vast network of trade routes connecting China to the rest of the world. The two components, Belt and Road. The initiative comprises two main components. The Silk Road Economic Belt. This is the belt part of the BRI, encompassing land routes that connect China to Europe through Central Asia and the Middle East. It aims to facilitate trade and investment, promote economic integration, and foster cultural exchanges. The 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. This is the road part, despite being a maritime route. It focuses on creating a network of ports and shipping lanes connecting China with Southeast Asia, South Asia, Africa, and Europe. The goal is to enhance maritime trade and cooperation. Investing in infrastructure. At the heart of the BRI is infrastructure development. China is investing billions of dollars in building roads, railways, ports, and pipelines across participating countries. These projects are not just about creating physical connections, they are about building economic corridors that can spur development and growth. The global reach. The BRI is not limited to neighboring countries, it has a global reach. Over 60 countries, accounting for about 2/3 of the world's population, have signed up or expressed interest in participating in the initiative. This makes the BRI a truly global endeavor with the potential to reshape global trade patterns. Challenges and controversies. Despite its ambitious goals, the BRI is not without its challenges and controversies. Concerns have been raised about the transparency of deals, the sustainability of the projects, and the potential for creating debt dependencies among participating countries. Critics argue that the BRI could be a tool for China to extend its geopolitical influence, creating a network of countries that are economically beholden to it. The Belt and Road Initiative represents China's grand vision of a connected world, with itself at the center. While it holds the promise of economic development and increased global connectivity, it also presents significant challenges and raises questions about China's role in the world. The global vision of the Belt and Road Initiative. A modern marvel in infrastructure development. When President Xi Jinping announced the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, in 2013, it was clear that China was embarking on a project of unparalleled scale and ambition. The BRI wasn't just about building roads or ports, it was about crafting a new global narrative, one where China stood at the epicenter of international trade and cooperation. Extending China's influence through infrastructure. The primary objective of the BRI is to extend China's influence by investing in infrastructure projects worldwide. But why infrastructure? Here's the rationale. Economic growth. Infrastructure is the backbone of any economy. By building roads, railways, and ports, China is facilitating trade and commerce, leading to economic growth in the participating countries. Strategic advantage. Infrastructure projects, especially those in strategic locations like ports in the Indian Ocean or railways near European borders, give China a foothold in regions that are geopolitically significant. Cultural and political ties. Infrastructure projects often lead to increased people-to-people contact, fostering cultural exchanges. Additionally, by being a major investor, China can build stronger political ties with the host countries. A win-win proposition? China often describes the BRI as a win-win proposition. The idea is that while China benefits from increased trade and strategic depth, the host countries benefit from improved infrastructure, job creation, and economic development. However, this perspective is not universally accepted, with critics pointing out potential pitfalls, including debt dependency and environmental concerns. The global footprint of the BRI. The BRI is not limited to a specific region. From the ports of Pakistan to the railways of Kenya, from the highways of Laos to the industrial parks of Belarus, the BRI has a truly global footprint. Over 130 countries have signed BRI agreements with China, showcasing the initiative's vast scope and reach. The Belt and Road Initiative is a testament to China's global vision and its aspirations to be a dominant player on the world stage. While the initiative promises economic development and increased connectivity, it also brings to the fore questions about China's intentions, the sustainability of the projects, and the implications for the global order. The debt dilemma of the Belt and Road Initiative. A global endeavor with strings attached? The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, while promising infrastructure development and economic growth, has not been without its share of controversies. One of the most significant criticisms leveled against the initiative is the potential for creating debt traps for participating countries. Understanding the debt trap concern. To understand the concept of a debt trap in the context of the BRI, let's use an analogy. Imagine a friend offers to help you renovate your house. They provide the funds, and in return, you promise to pay them back over time. The renovation makes your house look beautiful, and you're grateful for the assistance. However, as time goes on, you realize that the cost of the renovation was much higher than you anticipated, and now you're struggling to repay the debt. Your friend, seeing your difficulty, offers to help again but under certain conditions that give them more control over your property. You feel trapped, as you're indebted and have limited options. This scenario mirrors the concerns of some countries involved in the BRI. They receive massive loans from China for infrastructure projects, but if they face difficulties in repayment, they might find themselves in a position where they have to make significant concessions to China, be it in terms of assets, control, or influence. Real-world implications. Several countries involved in the BRI have faced challenges related to debt. Sri Lanka, the Hambantota port project in Sri Lanka is often cited as a cautionary tale. Unable to repay Chinese loans for the port's development, Sri Lanka leased the port to China for 99 years, raising concerns about China's strategic control in the Indian Ocean region. Pakistan, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, a flagship project of the BRI, has seen concerns about Pakistan's ability to repay loans, potentially leading to increased Chinese influence in the country. Several African countries like Djibouti, Zambia, and Kenya have taken on significant debt for BRI projects, leading to concerns about their long-term economic sovereignty. China's perspective. China has consistently defended the BRI against accusations of debt trap diplomacy. They argue that the initiative is about mutual benefit and that all projects undergo rigorous financial assessments. China also points out that they have restructured or forgiven several loans when countries faced genuine repayment difficulties. The debt-related concerns of the Belt and Road Initiative highlight the complexities of large-scale infrastructure financing and the geopolitical implications of debt dynamics. While the BRI promises development and connectivity, it also underscores the importance of transparent, sustainable, and mutually beneficial financial arrangements. China's role as the economic lifeline in the Belt and Road Initiative. In the vast tapestry of global economics, China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, stands out as a vibrant and ambitious thread, weaving through continents and cultures. Yet, like any grand endeavor, it is not without its knots and tangles. One such complication arises when participating countries, burdened by the weight of debt, find themselves teetering on the edge of economic despair. In these moments, China often steps in, not just as a lender but as an economic lifeline, offering bailouts that run into billions. Imagine a vast sea where numerous ships, representing the countries involved in the BRI, sail towards the promise of prosperity. However, the waters are treacherous, and some ships find themselves caught in storms of debt, their sails torn and unable to move forward. In the distance, a large vessel with the flag of China approaches, throwing lifelines and pulling these ships out of their economic tempests. This act of rescue, while noble, comes at a price, both for the rescuer and the rescued. China's decision to bail out countries is multifaceted. On one hand, it's a protective measure to safeguard its investments. If a country defaults on its loan, the infrastructure projects, many of which are already underway, risk being abandoned. On the other hand, these bailouts enhance China's image on the global stage, portraying it as a benevolent superpower willing to assist its neighbors in times of need. Moreover, by having a stake in the rescued country's assets, China can further its strategic interests, gaining a foothold in regions that are geopolitically significant. However, the narrative is not just about economics, it's also about influence and diplomacy. Countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives, which have received substantial financial assistance from China, find themselves in a delicate dance of gratitude and dependency. The assistance, while alleviating immediate financial pressures, also binds these countries closer to China, leading to a shift in the regional balance of power. Yet, every coin has two sides. While China's bailouts have been a boon for many countries, they also strain China's own economic reserves. With each bailout, Chinese banks and financial institutions take on more risk. If multiple countries were to default on their loans simultaneously, it could send shockwaves through China's economy. In the grand scheme of things, the BRI is a reflection of China's vision for the future, a world where trade routes are not just paths for goods but also for culture, ideas, and influence. The bailouts, while a testament to China's commitment to this vision, also serve as a reminder of the intricate web of economics and geopolitics that underpins the initiative. As the ships continue to sail on this vast sea, with China guiding many of them through turbulent waters, the world watches with bated breath, waiting to see how this journey unfolds and shapes the future of global economics and diplomacy. The investment bubble and its potential burst. In the grand chessboard of global economics, China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, stands out as a bold and ambitious move. It's a sprawling network of infrastructure projects, spanning continents and oceans, all with the aim of creating a modern-day Silk Road. However, beneath the surface of this monumental endeavor, concerns are brewing about an investment bubble and the potential repercussions if it were to burst. The making of an investment bubble. An investment bubble forms when assets are valued much higher than their intrinsic worth, often driven by exuberant and speculative investing. In the context of the BRI, this bubble has been inflating due to the massive amounts of money poured into projects, sometimes in countries with shaky economic foundations. The optimism surrounding these investments is palpable, but so are the risks. Imagine a balloon being filled with air, representing the investments in the BRI. With each project initiated, the balloon inflates a bit more. The belief in the transformative power of these projects is the air filling the balloon. However, just like any balloon, there's a limit to how much it can hold before the risk of bursting becomes imminent. The domino effect of a burst bubble. If this investment bubble were to burst, the consequences could ripple across the globe. The countries involved in the BRI, many of which are already grappling with debt, could find themselves in deeper economic turmoil. The projects, once symbols of progress, could turn into white elephants, abandoned and serving as stark reminders of overambition. For China, the stakes are incredibly high. A burst bubble could lead to financial losses in the billions, not to mention the dent in its global reputation. The dream of the BRI fostering a China-centric economic order could face serious setbacks. Learning from the brink. Yet, in the face of these challenges, there's also an opportunity for learning and adaptation. China, with its vast resources and economic prowess, has the potential to recalibrate its approach, implementing stricter financial assessments and risk management strategies. The experience could serve as a valuable lesson in the delicate art of balancing ambition with economic prudence. The BRI stands at a crossroads, with the specter of an investment bubble looming large. Whether this bubble will burst and lead to economic upheaval, or whether the risks will be mitigated through careful planning and management, is a question that only time will answer. What's clear, however, is that the world is watching, and the outcome will have lasting implications on the global economic landscape. Adapting to challenges, China's evolving strategy. In the intricate dance of global economics, every move, every decision, has consequences. As China navigates the challenges posed by the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, it finds itself at a pivotal juncture, needing to adapt and evolve its strategy to ensure the initiative's long-term success. The landscape of challenges. The BRI, while a beacon of China's global ambitions, has been beset by a myriad of challenges. From countries struggling with debt repayments to concerns about an investment bubble, the path has been anything but smooth. Add to this the geopolitical tensions, varying interests of participating countries, and the vast cultural differences, and you have a complex puzzle that China needs to solve. Imagine a painter, with a vision of a grand masterpiece, but with each brushstroke, new challenges emerge. The canvas, instead of being a blank slate, has its own textures and patterns, influencing the final outcome. This is the situation China finds itself in, with the BRI being the canvas and the participating countries adding their unique textures. China's adaptive measures. Recognizing the challenges, China has been proactive in adapting its approach. Financial prudence. China has become more selective in its investments, focusing on projects that offer clear economic benefits and are financially viable. Strengthening diplomatic ties. Realizing the importance of strong diplomatic relations, China has been engaging in dialogue with participating countries, addressing their concerns, and finding common ground. Local collaboration. Instead of solely relying on Chinese companies and workers, there's a push towards collaborating with local companies, creating job opportunities, and fostering goodwill. Sustainability focus. Environmental concerns have taken center stage, with China emphasizing sustainable infrastructure development and green initiatives. Debt restructuring. In cases where countries are unable to repay their debts, China has shown flexibility, offering debt restructuring, grace periods, and in some cases, debt forgiveness. The road ahead. While the challenges are significant, they also offer China an opportunity to showcase its resilience and adaptability. The BRI is more than just an infrastructure project, it's a testament to China's vision of a connected world, where collaboration and mutual benefit take precedence over individual interests. In the grand tapestry of global economics, the BRI is a vibrant thread, and with each adaptive measure, China ensures that this thread remains strong, weaving a story of ambition, collaboration, and shared prosperity. The silver lining, learning from the Belt and Road Initiative. Every cloud has a silver lining, and in the context of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, this adage holds true. While the BRI has faced its fair share of challenges, it also presents a wealth of learning opportunities, not just for China but for the global community at large. The School of Hard Knocks. The BRI, in many ways, has been a school of hard knocks for China. Venturing into uncharted territories, dealing with diverse cultures, and navigating complex geopolitical landscapes have all been part of the learning curve. But as with any educational experience, the lessons learned are invaluable. Imagine a student eager to learn but faced with a challenging curriculum. Each subject, each lesson, brings its own set of difficulties. But with perseverance and adaptability, the student not only overcomes these challenges but also gains a deeper understanding of the subject matter. Key lessons from the BRI. Cultural sensitivity. One of the most significant lessons has been the importance of understanding and respecting the cultural nuances of participating countries. A one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work, and adapting to local customs and traditions is crucial for the success of any project. Financial prudence. The challenges faced by countries unable to repay their debts have underscored the importance of thorough financial assessments and risk management. Environmental responsibility. The BRI has highlighted the need for sustainable development, emphasizing the importance of environmental conservation and green initiatives. Diplomatic finesse. Navigating the geopolitical intricacies of the BRI has taught China the importance of diplomatic finesse, building trust, and fostering mutual respect. Collaborative approach. The BRI has reinforced the belief that collaboration yields better results. Working hand in hand with local governments, businesses, and communities ensures that projects are more aligned with the needs of the people. A global classroom. The BRI is not just a lesson for China, it's a lesson for the world. It serves as a case study on the complexities of global infrastructure projects, the interplay of economics and politics, and the importance of cross-cultural collaboration. The Belt and Road Initiative, with its vast scope and ambition, is a testament to the fact that learning never stops. Each challenge faced, each hurdle overcome, adds a new chapter to this ever-evolving story. And as the world watches and learns, the BRI continues to shape the future of global economics and diplomacy.